Hi everyone, welcome to another session of the Big Mic. My name is Olatunde Pende, and today is actually a very special day. We have a special guest with us, somebody that actually articulates that sort of, how can I put it? She basically, has this vision about, African culture that has to do with the African hair. So what I just want to actually say is that today we have the privilege of speaking with an inspiring woman who is not only preserving tradition but also celebrating identity and culture in a truly powerful way. As the organizer of the Onidiri Festival, she has created a platform where history, artistry, and womanhood come together through the beauty of African hair. This festival is more than a showcase of hairstyle. It is a living archive of heritage, a voice of empowerment, and a bridge between generations. We are honored to hear our story, our vision, and the deeper meaning behind the celebration. So, before I actually bring her up, I just want to play a short video from Instagram. So, let's listen to this.
Festival. Onidiri Festival is a hair and beauty festival where hairstylists, beauticians, loctician barbers connect with customers while they are also getting the opportunity to learn about starting up a business in the UK from experienced business owners in the UK, where they're learning about the art of pricing, where they're also learning about the art of marketing. You would agree with me that the UK market space is very different from any other country. Yes, that is what we're talking about. Aside all of the busy things, we're also going to be having fun through different performances, learning about African tradition and culture through music, dance, drumming, and games. All of the African games you stopped playing in Nigeria or any of your countries or state of origin, you get to play Ayo Olopon game. You will get to play Ludo, and you're going to have lovely food as well. It is absolutely free for guests. Absolutely free. All you need to do is register, and that's it. For vendors that are hairstylists, barbers, we're inviting you to come sell your products and your services. Till I see you again, my name is Favor. I am the founder of Onidiri Festival. Thank you.
Wow, that is really interesting. So, without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, so I just wanted to join me in welcoming Favor Ben.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
How are, how's everything? So,
I'm
I
fine,
mean,
thank you.
I've just been going through all of this. I'm thinking, where on earth did you get all these ideas from? Sometimes when you actually think you've seen it all, then somebody else actually
Mhm.
comes up and they start talking about this thing, and you'll be like, how did I miss that? So, so the first question I just want, because I'm sure we have a lot of our viewers are around and they are asking questions. So this is going to be a real opportunity for you, because I know that the event is taking place tomorrow, isn't it? We're all going to be there with you.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're going to be showcasing these. We're going to be live streaming. So there's a whole lot of media package that is coming down there to really promote this. Because what has always happened, in my own view, is that most people, anything that is African, we always try to make it secondary.
Yes,
Okay, but at the
yes.
same time, so we lose who we are. Okay, I mean, about some time ago, I was in Nigeria, and I noticed that literally everybody just had a wig on. Look, there's nothing
Mm.
wrong with whatever tickle or rock your boat,
Mm-hmm.
wear anything you like. But it's really strange, like you're in Africa and all you can see is wigs. So, and I'm
Mm.
thinking, nobody said it to me. I just noticed. Okay,
Mm,
so you can imagine, people coming from outside the country,
mhm.
into Nigeria, say for instance, for the first time, they're expecting to see our culture, but all they are seeing is,
Okay.
am I in America, or at least in regards to the hairdo anyway. So I'm sure you
Yeah.
know what I mean. So,
Mhm.
so can you quickly introduce yourself anyway? So let me give you space to say some things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me on this. I just want to say thank you so much. To start with, my name is Favor Modukwe Ben. Yeah, I did proud the Modukwe part of it. So originally, I'm from Delta State, but I grew up more in the western part of Nigeria, amongst the Yoruba and the Kiti people that love stuff on me.
Sorry. I have to interrupt you there. What do you mean among Yoruba people? Is Delta people not Yoruba people?
Yeah, they are. They are.
Don't
I
let
met
me
a
start
lot of
another
Yoruba
debate. Don't
people.
let me start another debate. So that we leave that one for the other time. My apologies. Please carry on.
Yes, yes. So, and then when I was in the university, I remember that day. I
Which
woke up
university?
and I'm
Sorry,
like,
which university?
I finished from Ekiti State University. Up X-Sites. Hey.
Mm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. Well done. Well done. So you're at the right place.
So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
finished from Ekiti State, and
Mm,
I think we had one module then where it was talking about entrepreneurship. And I've always liked, doing things with my hand. So I just woke up that day and I went to, in the school, we would usually have a mommy market
mm,
where we would have hairstylists, we have barbers, we have different mommy food and all of that. So I walked up to this woman there and then I said, I want to learn how to make hair. And she's like, oh, but you're studying and it's already stressful as it is. I
mm.
said, no, I'm going to do it. Not too long, my mom called me and said, Favor, aside studying, what else do you want to do? I think you should have another skill. I said, oh, yesterday, actually, I went to this person and I said, I want to learn how to make hair. And that was how I started learning how to make it. And from there, I scaled into making it for people, finished my course. So that was like, I think it was like when I was in second year. So till I finished my university, I was after class, I would go and learn how to make it. And then I would go back to class and then I would go home and
Really?
then
Wow.
yeah, that was how I was shuffling. That's how I was shuffling it. It was tedious, but the fun part of it for me was when I finished picking the hair, people were like, oh, that's so nice. Oh, I
Mm,
look more beautiful. Oh yeah, I think my skin is finally popping right now. So it was a thing of joy for me. So when I went for my NYSC, I served in Kirby State. And then when I got there, I saw a market where there were not a lot of salons for people like me, people to make hair. And I remember outside that day, I ran into this person who happens to own a salon there. But one thing led to another thing. I couldn't work with her because she got married and had to relocate to Abuja. So I started making hair. I became the the
the
local para.
businesswoman.
I
Now,
became this person there.
I have questions. I need to stop you there. I
All
have a
right.
couple of questions, because as you were talking, so you were actually
Mhm.
straight into some of the questions I want to ask. And
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so I really want to ask you, pointed questions in regards to it, so we can really travel
That's
together. So
fine.
give people the idea of how, you really, really started. Although you give us an idea. So the first question
Mhm.
I'm going to ask you is this: what inspired you to create a, Onidiri? What really inspired you in all of this? How did you get to it?
So, from one video I made, I said Onidiri Festival came from a place of pain,
Mm,
a place of lack of information.
right.
That was what birthed Onidiri. When I came into the UK, I struggled with making my hair. And at some point, I had alopecia in front of my hair because the weather wasn't very nice. I didn't
Okay.
get a good hairstylist.
Mm,
And when you get an hairstylist, it is either they make the hair and your head is hurting so bad, or they don't actually get the style you want to make. I
okay.
struggled with it. Aside that, I did a research. This was before I started last year, and I asked people, share your opinion with me since you got into
Mm,
the UK. How difficult has been for you to get an hairstylist, especially for us people just coming in? And a lot of people said, "Oh, I've had to cut my hair." One person replied and said, "Oh, I became depressed. That means I would normally go to the street in my area." make my hair for like maybe £30 or 30,000 naira, and now I'm in the UK and I can't get to make my, even if it is expensive, so long it is good, I am fine.
Okay.
So I saw that gap. Aside that, I wanted to create the ambience that there is still beauty in your hair texture.
Mm.
We struggle with our hair because we feel like, oh, it's not fine, it's not nice, it is not this. But if you're able to take care of it properly,
Mm.
there is still beauty in your hair. So I wanted to tell that story from the perspective of beauty and history,
Okay.
and from the perspective of let us meet different hairstylists that make hair in the UK that you can get to make your hair from. Because I, as an hairstylist myself, I know when an hairstylist is good, and I know when you're not doing a good job. I probably won't talk. But
Okay.
when I know you're a good hairstylist, I will keep coming back.
Mm.
If I make my F from you out and I see that okay, you're good, this is what you do, I'll come back. But if it's not, you probably won't see me again. So we vetted all of the hairstylists. I said, come meet hairstylists, come have fun. So what we now added to show the African and the beautiful and culture part of it is adding dance,
Mm.
music, and art.
Wow. Okay. Hmm.
Art as an element of transferring the past into the present.
Wow.
A lot of people never knew what Oweyo is till I started. I actually did a series last year talking about air as well, talking about the beauty of air and
Mm.
cowries as an
Okay.
element of beauty, talking about the issue of Dada Awuru as an air element and also a spiritual element as well. So that was what built up and, encompassed into Onidiri Festival.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is brilliant. So the next thing I actually want to ask you is this, that, in your view, what role has hair played in African history and identity? I mentioned earlier that,
Mhm.
at some point you will think, anything that is African culture is bad. Do you understand? So,
Yes.
um, when we spoke earlier, off camera, I did mention to you that everybody, the definition of beauty when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
African identity, it seems to be if it's not tailored or aligned with the European culture,
Mm-hmm.
hence the reason we have wigs and everything. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't look good on some people, but the truth of the
Mm-hmm.
matter is that it's not, that is this, like I say, right? So if I get in trouble for this, but I think Africa, I don't even think Africa is more beautiful as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
If we don't believe in that, then what sort of identity do you have? So, in your view, so can you tell me, so in African history and identity, so in what role has hair really played?
I think it comes from two perspectives. The first thing is accepting that this is who you are and there is nothing
Mm,
you can do about it. Where we
mhm,
struggle as human is having difficulty to fitting into where you do not belong.
mm, mhm, mhm.
So at that level, we start from your hair and your face. Oh,
Mm.
I want to look fair. I want to look this. I want to look that. You need to
Yeah,
accept.
like the skin, So, some of us, we might
Exactly.
look like, some of us, we look black. It doesn't matter. Do you
It
understand?
doesn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you need to accept that this is your hair texture. The next question you begin to ask is how do you make it shine?
Mm,
How do you make it look beautiful on you? It has been given to you. There is nothing you can do about it,
mm,
unfortunately. You can wear different wigs or different things, but your hair itself, if it is not properly taken care of, that's the
mm,
way that's the way it has been given to you to thin out and you
mm,
would lose it. So you have to understand that this is who I am as an African, for instance, and
mhm,
this is the air I have been given. How do I make this more beautiful? How do I want to style this to showcase who I am as a
mm.
person and as an African?
Right.
So it details that you just have to come into. Yeah, I do not have anything against everyone that is looking to change their hair. I don't have anything. I am just saying my truth from my own vision, from my own
Mm-hmm.
point of view, that it is who you are, it is your identity. I remember wasn't about two about a month ago, I wore the entire Onidiri. I had the Shikwaya and I beaded it from start to finish with this thing.
Okay.
And I went on. I just went out. I went for a
Did you take a
cultural
picture?
event.
Did you take a
I I
picture?
I I I didn't take a picture, but I have a video.
See, see, that's the
Because,
kind of thing
because
we should be
because
having
there was,
so we can
yeah, yeah,
showcase.
but there was just too much people. There was too many people around that day. They
Mm.
wanted to take a picture because they had never seen that kind of hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, this is Shukwaya." And they're like, "What Shukwaya?" I'm like, "Okay, so this is the issue of Shukwaya." And I had to start explaining that according to your status in a particular community, this is the kind of hairstyles you make, and this is who you are. And this is what we stand for. And I beaded it from start to finish, and it was, oh my goodness, that day was epic in London. And
Wow.
it brings back to the fact that it is who I am, and I have come to acceptance that this is my identity. This is me. There is
Mm.
nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's quite interesting that you did mention that. None of us get to choose where we're going to be born.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Well, at times you have people that will make jokes in Nigeria where we'll say, why can't I be born in Canada or somewhere
Mm,
else and all that? And then
mm,
there are jokes also about people that I think it was about a baby that the baby
mm.
opened their eyes and they're like, where am I? Ah,
I think I saw that.
so you can see that this thing really runs deep. It's not just
It
about,
does.
the air is like the crown on our head, whether you're a man or
Exactly.
a woman. You understand
Yes.
what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So now the question is now this, okay? Some traditional hairstyles carry symbolic meaning. Can you
Yes.
share example and what they represent? For instance,
Okay.
people from Edo States,
Yeah.
when they are, I
The
think
word the okuku.
and only they are not the only one, in
Mm.
Yoruba land as well. So I'm not sure whether we use beads. They are
Yeah, we
Yoruba.
do.
In fact, I forget
We do.
that they are Yoruba too. Sorry, I'm correcting myself now. I'm starting again. So tell me, so what are their
Okay.
symbolic meanings?
Okay, so I will start from the Yoruba.
Mm,
So the Yorubas would usually wear shuku ologede.
mm.
There is shuku ologede. There is didi ologede.
I've never heard of that one before. So you see, I'm really learning here. So I mean, if any of our viewers want to ask questions, please in the comment section, can you just pop it in there so we can actually
Mhm.
ask favor. So she's the expert here. Shuku Olegede. Me, I've never
Yes.
heard of that one. Ah, so there's Shuku Olegede. Okay, please
Yes, there
carry
is
on.
shuku ologede. The way
Okay.
you cut it is just like
Mm.
a banana.
Mm-hmm.
So just picture banana in your head. The way it is structured is the way it is
Mm.
cut, and that's how it's made in your hair. The way you hold it is different from the way you hold didi ologede. Now, look at it. Let me tell you the significance of the two styles. If your hair is thinning out and your
Okay.
hair is breaking, and
Mm.
then you're having really massive hair loss,
Okay.
if you do shuku ologede or shuku didi consistently for say 3 months, your
Okay.
hair would gain mass back.
Wow.
It is an hairstyle that you can
Mm.
use to grow your hair. Now, another one is weaving, just normal cornrow. If your hair
Mm.
is breaking and it's not stretching the way it's supposed to at the length you want it, maybe you've been treating it for a while. If you
Okay.
do if you do a plan and then you do the weaving consistently for like a month, you would
Okay.
see your hair stretch, your
Mm.
hair would gain body mass with those
Wow.
styles. But now because of civilization, we don't do those styles again.
I think there's a real said knowledge is power. People actually use a lot of chemicals here to try and get it. And here you are, you're talking about the African method. It's like sometimes when we talk about medication, for instance. We
Mhm,
have agbo in Nigeria, well, in African culture, okay? They are the
mhm,
herbal
mhm,
stuff. So, but the pharmaceutical companies, all they actually do is that, they actually take the same ingredients, you know, and what do? So they sort of, reorientate it without losing the core ingredients that are being used. Make it look nice, package it
mhm.
looks very, how can I put it, Western packages.
Exactly.
But the African one is looking rugged, that even the thing
Mhm,
like it's smelling.
mhm,
I know of people that don't, in Nigeria that don't use medication. They don't use anything that is packaged by pharmaceuticals. They use agbo.
mhm,
They know all the stuff to use.
mhm.
So, but we look down on them. We're
Mhm.
like, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, that is, you're backward. You're not
Yeah.
civilized. If you're not
Yeah.
using, the modern medicine, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
medicine, by the
Obviously.
way. But at
Nothing.
the same time, we need to understand their source. Okay, and
Mm,
when we
I agree.
understand this, so then we now realize that look, this is, this thing they are okay. They actually work.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
when they now bring it packaged, oh, we are all rushing for it and we'll pay any price
Mm,
for it.
mm,
So the question I'm going to ask again now is, so how does the Onidiri help preserve indigenous care practices in a modern world? I know you've touched on uh, aspect of this, but let me just as a point blank, so
mhm.
how does it help? How
So
does it help
two
our
ways.
people?
How does it
Mm,
preserve is, well, we've
mm,
added art into this because we know that art is a way to preserve the
mm.
past.
Okay.
That is one way we're preserving. Another way is to showcase all of these styles as evolved into modern styles.
Mm.
Like I said, this shuku that I mentioned, I'm very sure that a lot of people did not know that if their hair is thinning out, they can actually use this hairstyle
It's big
to
business.
actually grow
It's
their
big business. People are
to
using all
probably
these chemical compounds on their
no,
the edges of their. You can see all the
it's
artificial
gone.
one they are not sticking on.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that they are now having to use artificial
Mm-hmm.
synthetic
Artificial
to
chemicals to
cover.
just yeah,
So do you
to
think
protect.
this method might actually help to restore, air that have thinned because it's not about age.
Yeah,
It's not
these
about
are
age.
things I have
I've seen very
practiced.
young. I've seen people in their 20s. So
Yeah, these
I'm
are
like,
things I've
what
practiced.
happened? Okay. Wow.
These are processes I have practiced. One thing about
Wow.
me is I practice there are some styles that are called protective styles. There are some
Okay.
styles that are called
Mm.
making your hair get long. But these are
Mm-hmm.
styles that are indigenous to us, like
Right. Okay.
Koroba, like
Mm.
the Sukologede. These styles,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, people now do it, but they're adding a lot of extension instead of them to use their hair alone because they feel like my hair is not beautiful alone if I step out. So
Mm.
why should I?
Yeah,
You get, but
I'm
if you're
looking at your
treating
hair
your
now.
hair,
It's very beautiful. It looks very lovely. It's great. No,
yeah, it is.
seriously.
Yeah,
It's real.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
are you using extension or is it extension? Because these days, I don't know whether it's
No,
AI hair that we're
people use extension these days, but when
okay.
you want to grow your hair, to the best of my knowledge, and these are things I have practiced. So I
Okay.
practiced this particular thing on several people with different hair texture.
Okay.
What kind of hairstyle do I make for this person that will make this person grow? And over
Mm.
time, the kind of people I have made therefore, I noticed their hair length. I used to make a full time when I came into the UK. And I would go to this client, lovely client of mine. I make it for all her children, five of them. And each time
Okay. No,
each
but
time
please
some
carry
of
on. Yeah.
them, maybe one of them
Mm.
does something to her hair, and I'll be like, okay, so ma, I don't know what happened, but your daughter did something to our hair, and this is her hair length the last time I checked, and this is her hair
Mm.
length. Do not look at this hair, maybe oh this hair would not last. I am protecting her edges. And all through over a year that I made them for the family, I'm not sure they ever had any breakage because I'm always protecting their hairline with the way I cut
Mm.
and the texture and the way I grip the hair. Do you get? Because
Okay.
I understand that if you lose your front hair, it might
Mm.
really upset you. Because I, for one, it upset me a lot when I came into the UK and I could not get anyone to, you know,
Okay.
properly help me with and I really my airline went on commercial break.
Ah.
My airline went on commercial break, and because I know how to mix a lot of African products, I had to
Okay.
start, mixing some things, ori and some other things together. But
Mm.
obviously, I'm in the UK, and I cannot get certain products. I cannot get certain herbs.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I struggle with it. So yes, going back to your question, there are different hairstyles that you can do to protect your hair, and in preserving the culture, there are still different hairstyles that we can do that does not make you look ugly, for the lack of a better word. It
Okay.
does depend on the way you do it and how you protect your hair so that you don't have alopecia.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. So,
Is that Latif Adedi made in the comment section?
yes, you can
Oh
actually say
wow!
so.
He
Yeah,
said,
yeah, go on.
he
They've
said, how
not,
many strands of hair do you have? I have
yeah,
maybe three.
exactly. So that's why I didn't call it out earlier. So, okay, let me just put that out. And I'm thinking, what is that? What do you mean, how many strengths of it?
He's a really amazing man. I've had the opportunity of working with him as well.
Okay,
Mm.
wow, wow, that's brilliant. So now the other question I just want to ask you is this: you know, when you see African hair culture, I mean, do you see African hair culture as a unifying force across the continent and diaspora?
It might become a language.
Mm,
It might become a language because there are a lot of people now beginning to dive into African hair as an identity,
okay,
as a personification. I follow a lot of hairstylists. I follow a lot of
okay,
I follow a lot of people that are beginning to find their identity through air. There is this, there
okay,
is, but I don't think it might become a generic language of, universe, but maybe a language of identity.
okay.
A language that
Wow.
when they see you, they'll be like, oh, this person is from Ethiopia. Oh, this person is from
Mm,
Ghana. Oh, this person is from, you understand, from
right.
Nigeria. Oh, it's
Mm,
like I said, a language of identity because a lot of
okay,
us are struggling with our identity. We're like, oh, am I this? Am I that? So it might at some point become a language of identity. That's to the best of
okay,
my knowledge, based on the research I have done so far.
okay. There are some other challenges that you seem to have abroad, for instance, about the hairdo,
Hmm.
African hairdo. There have been
Yes.
people in their workplaces where they've been told that their hairdo is not acceptable.
Hmm.
So it
Yes.
has been people who are very assertive and very, very proud of their heritage.
Hmm.
They've gone for job interviews, and
Hmm.
immediately they've been picked up upon. Some maybe well when they went for the interview they had a week, so there was no problem. So they've gotten the employment. They're actually working there, and the next
Hmm.
thing, you know, so one day they decided to do like
The
a
Afro, they
shuku
all
and come
the.
down to work. Looking quite tired, tidy, nothing outlandish. You understand?
Hmm.
Nothing out of place. But then immediately HR calls them up and said, "Look, you're not allowed to have this." In your view, what do you think? What's the best way do you think you can deal with this? Because look,
Okay.
yes, you're looking to make a livelihood, and we're in a society that promotes individuality.
Hmm.
You should be proud of your background and all.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
there was never anything that was mentioned about um, you don't want to see your culture. It's
Hmm.
not as if that you are putting on a buba in Euro or anything like
Hmm.
that. You're
Hmm.
putting on, yeah, it's your hair. You know,
Hmm.
and the next thing they're telling you that in your views, what do you think? In what ways can you deal with this? Just your own
Okay.
opinion.
So I'm going to come from two angles. The first one is currently in the UK and maybe the global north. We're promoting
Uh,
EDI.
okay.
Several occasions I've had the opportunity to work on EDI projects. And
Okay.
if we're promoting EDI and we'll be hypocritical about people's what are you doing?
Mhm.
I need to ask
Exactly.
the HR team. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to send a mail. Sorry,
Mhm.
but you're going to have to reply that mail because if you're promoting EDI across your materials, across every single thing you're posting, how is my air a problem? However, we live in the UK, for instance, where these things are becoming, it's a very large community that promotes EDI. So I think to an extent, it's very soft. It's very soft here because obviously people are vocal about their identity, they're vocal about their personnel. You don't want to be rude to people because of their hair texture or their identity. That's I consider that very rude.
Mhm.
So coming from that light, that is one aspect. The second aspect is our hair texture is different.
Kinky.
Unfortunately, it is not as silky
Mhm.
as the white. I'm not being rude or disrespectful,
No, no,
but
you're
so you
not. You're
need
just saying
to,
it as it is. Yeah.
yeah. You also need to learn how to make it nice. You don't want to go. outside
Mm,
and your hair is shouting hallelujah. So you also want to know the products that would work for your hair. Not, I came into the UK, like I said earlier,
mm,
I tried numerous products. None worked for my hair texture. None.
okay. Mm,
And I had to come back to my Ori and my Eva products. And that was that was what I ended up using. So coming from identity perspective and the way the community is, if you're going to serve as an EDI candidate, you want to speak and stand on it.
okay.
But then we as a community are growing. We as a community are expanding and saying that can't be
Mm,
rude to people based on their hair texture or the kind of hairstyle they decide to wear. That is what they want to wear. If you're promoting EDI, promote it with your full chest. And I think so far so good. It's been successful at my end, but obviously we keep working on it. The community is growing, the community is researching more, and we're looking for more places or more situations where we can be more encompassing, if that makes sense.
okay. Well, the question now, I just want to start asking questions in regards to
Hmm.
the festival experience and what
Hmm.
the um, expected impact is going to be so that we can manage expectations.
Yeah.
So, one of the key questions I just want to ask you is that what unique highlights can visitors expect tomorrow at this
Okay.
year's
So
festival?
to start with, like I said, we're not just having a festival, we're
Mm,
building a community.
okay.
There are a lot of people that have come into the UK that are business owners that are struggling to find their level ground.
Mm,
Hence, we've brought in an hairstylist, an hairpreneur who has been in this
mm,
business for the past 23 years. She currently has a salon business in the UK and thriving. But bringing her to share a wealth of knowledge, you come tell people, how have you been able to do this? How have you been able to establish a business? You would know establishing a business in the UK.
mm,
It's not what the stuff started. So we're bringing her in to share a wealth of experience. Aside that,
mm,
we're bringing in a legal practitioner as well and say, come
okay.
discuss the legal part of it with us as well. This is for anyone coming. We're also saying that we understand the mental health part of running a business. I have, sadly enough, been depressed at some point when a customer told me to my face, you're doing rubbish, you're being rude. Yeah. It was, I remember that very customer sent me over 3,000 words of messages of how rude I was. Yeah, I ended up having
Where
to see my
is that?
therapist.
Is that in the UK or in
In the
Nigeria?
UK, in the
Wow.
UK, yeah, this UK, yeah, that we are living. And that was because when I came in, I didn't see anybody to hold my hand through that. Pricing is different. The way you price in the UK is not the way you price in Nigeria. The way you price in the UK is not the way you price in Gambia. You need to
Mm.
understand the art of pricing here. So we're bringing somebody to talk about the art of pricing in the UK market.
I can tell you that for me, I was away for some time, and when I came back, when I traveled, when I was in Nigeria, I think before I left, we were paying £10. In fact, £8.
Mm,
So by the time I went away for some few months, by the time I
mhm,
came back, and the guy, I sat down at the barber. So this was really funny.
mhm,
I was there with my son, so we sat
mm,
down. Yeah,
mhm,
okay, I'll cut you. Don't worry, I will pay your money. Is it okay? This
mhm,
is only 7, £8. No wahala.
mhm,
So after, okay, yeah, give me shape up. Yeah, give me cut. So the guy
mm,
now said, I said, so how much is your money? So let me transfer. The guy said
mhm.
£50. I said, no,
Yeah.
I didn't buy any product. I said, how much is it for my hair? He said, yeah, he said £50. I'm like, eh? I said, £50 for what? He said, oh, your hair is £25 each.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not for God, I wanted to ask my son, I said, "Come, better pay for yourself." I
I
was,
can absolutely understand.
I wanted to go
I've
and
been
look
there.
for. I said, I better go and look at Indeed. Maybe how much are they hiring barbers? Maybe I can get a job and start cutting hair. I would like shorter.
Yeah.
But I said, really,
Yes,
honestly,
yes.
and
I agree
it's
with you.
something a lot of people don't talk about. Right now, my barber now. Each time I want to
Hmm.
cut my hair, you can't stroll in. Yeah, you have to.
No,
It's an appointment.
no.
It's not like
It's
the
an
guy.
appointment based.
He is not showing off or anything. It's just what it is now.
That's just the way it is,
You
because
have
it
to
is now
book
a
an
proper
appointment.
business.
This guy is making
That's
IT
it.
money. He's making IT money.
Yeah, yeah.
He's,
I know.
he's,
I know.
he is literally in Nigeria every other month. I'm like, Kunde,
I
where are
know.
you? He said, oh, uncle, I'm in Lagos. I said, what do you mean Lagos? And
Lagos.
you just come here and I said, yeah, I'm going to. You understand? So I think a lot of
I
people.
tell you. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's
A perfect example would be, sorry, I just wanted to say something. A perfect example would be for air
mm,
tester.
mhm,
Some people, which is why I wanted to discuss the art of pricing, the art,
mhm,
ART. Some people would tell you when you're booking your appointment, you tell them to upload the picture, the air length, and then they're going to, I don't know, they'll maneuver it,
mhm.
and then they will upload something else. And then when
Okay.
you get there, and then you're
You,
going to see something different.
you now see Afro Media.
Jesus. Oh goodness. I remember vividly. I went for this hair appointment. I'd already seen the person said this, da da da.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, this is just going to take me 7 hours. You understand?
Mhm.
And then I got there and then I saw something else and I spent 13 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. This is my story. I'm not even using another person's story. I spent
Mm.
13 hours on that hair.
Mhm.
And you can imagine something like that.
Mm.
And they don't tell you the truth. So you have to understand that, okay, there has to be a metric that you have to put in place. Okay,
Right.
if this is this, this is this. Because some people will genuinely do that to cheat you. If you have that conversation with the person, I don't think that's an issue. But when you do
Mm.
that to coerce another person, I think that's not very nice. Because that is somebody spending 13 hours. If someone was doing 10 pounds per hour, that's £130.
Mm.
And the person would go on break in between. But this one, you don't go on break, you
Mm.
don't step out,
Wow.
and you have to stay there for 13 hours to make air because it has to be beautiful. I have pictures of those things. And we just want to have this conversation. And so the last part of it is bringing in a mental health professional, talking us
Mm.
through how all of this can affect your mental health if you're not very careful. Staying in long hours, standing long hours to make air hurts your back. Your back.
Okay.
It hurts so bad that
Mm.
a lot of people have had to stop making it. But how do you then price when your back is, after standing for 13 hours, if you're not careful, you fidget by the time you're done making it, and
Okay.
your knuckles, yeah, they hurt so bad. You would have to
Okay.
put your hand
Mm.
inside hot water when you get back home. How do you price?
Hmm. So, okay, this actually brings us to another uh, another angle in all of this.
Hmm.
We're talking about building a community. So, I mean,
Yes,
so far from what you have seen, from your
yes.
own direct experience and engagement with the community you're actually in, how has the local community responded to your initiative about Onidiri?
Yeah, so a lot of communities have been very supportive, from the Afro community in Birmingham to Manchester to the Jabbies. Oh, what? I'm sorry. The Muslim communities as well.
Okay.
They've been very responsive because while I was going through this journey, I learned that the Muslim communities, their problem is even different from the normal one.
Okay. Okay.
Because they are wearing their hijabi and they need products that can make sure that their hair is moisturized even under their hijab. And
The jab.
you begin to
Okay.
see that
Wow.
there is just a lot of problem. But when you do not research, you probably do not know. So the Muslim community have been very supportive, the Afro
Mm.
community have been supportive. Aside that, um different communities like NIUK and all of them, they've been also very supportive as well.
Okay.
So it's been an exciting experience. And then the EXO alumni community has been very supportive. I'm permitted to mention that as well.
Yeah,
They've been very
definitely.
supportive as well.
Yeah, I'm
So,
just really, really so happy about this because, I mean, from what I can see, as I said to you earlier, so I had questions. There were people asking
mhm,
me in Nigeria who are part of the community
mhm,
as well, alumni, who have, actually said, get her into our WhatsApp group, we would like to actually
mhm,
support her and all that. Okay, so, I just want to say that, I think the other question that I've got as well, it says, how can policymakers, schools, or cultural bodies better support initiatives like this? You mentioned something along this idea about Swansea yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So I mean,
Yeah. So
tell us. I
before
mean,
before I go to before I go to Swansea, I think I'm going to start with this art organization at work with that they've been very supportive.
okay.
They're called Taisha Academy of Art and Culture.
Right.
Because they're an academy of art and culture, they've been very supportive because they see the representation of art and our
Mm,
culture.
mm-hmm.
Hence, they've been very supportive. There's another organization as well, our Heritage. They've been very supportive of what we're doing as well,
Mm,
in the sense that we're conjoining and saying that how do we teach the next generation this story?
right. Okay.
Our stories. How
Mm,
do we teach them? That was why we included art of it. You would see at the exhibition tomorrow, you will see series of art from over 15 artists. Air
wow.
from the Shugbo, Air from as Alopecia. You would see a lot of artwork. We're telling the story of Air across different
Mm,
generations to different audiences and saying that, hello, my sweetie pie that is 8 years old. Do you know what this hairstyle represent? This is the hairstyle that the Oshun priestesses, this is what they wear. You see this particular hairstyle, this is
mm,
what the maiden in the Oyo kingdom used to wear in the 18th century. Have you
mm,
ever seen this?
mm,
Does it sound familiar?
mm.
So we are using this to tell a story, and we're also preserving these stories that we've had access to. Obviously, we
Okay.
can't have access to all of the stories, but the little we've had access to, this is
Mm,
how we're telling the story. So, in terms of organizations that have supported us, like I mentioned, Taishi has been there for us, um, Heritage, but obviously, we look
mm,
forward to meeting more communities that are encompassing and understand what we are trying to do as well. So, Swansea, yeah, we're still in conversation. We're still in conversation and see what we can do with Swansea and other communities. But the
okay.
audacious goal is, aside telling the story, how can we train up our children as well to make hair, to learn how to braid, to learn how to
Mm,
do all of these things? One of the vendors coming tomorrow as well, that's what she does full fledged.
okay.
She teaches children
Mm,
and adults. Fathers are beginning to come into the revolution of how do I create more bond with my daughter or with my female child with their hair. So
wow.
that is what she does for business. And she's
Mm,
coming tomorrow as a braids by Christiana. She's coming tomorrow as well. She's one of our vendors and she's showcasing her work there as well. So many more of different, different diversity across,
okay.
just to show that it's an encompassing community.
Okay. Brilliant. So, I think I've got a couple of more questions. Um, so how do you see this festival evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, what does the future hold for this?
Permit me to borrow another person's brand, but it's because I celebrate the brand. I see
Okay.
Onidiri Festival becoming the African Fashion Week of Air. That's
Whoa.
that's how I that's all.
Okay. All right. Wow. Well done. Well done. That's really good one. So, do you collaborate with other African or diaspora communities to share cultural air tradition? Because I think
Yes,
I
yes, we
remembered
do.
you mentioned this as well earlier.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Currently, at the event tomorrow, we're collaborating with Leslie. Leslie is an air historian from Jamaica,
Okay.
and she
Right.
will be talking us through the identity of air more than just air. I mean, it
Mm.
is air, but there is an identity flow. She's an air historian. That's what she does. And
Ah, right. Okay.
collaboration with her has made me see things in different light. How, as far as the kind of comb you use matters to your air,
Yeah.
the way your
Okay.
air is going to
Wow.
break. And she's coming to share a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait to just listen to her because each time we're on the call, she goes on, and it's so beautiful to listen to. The hair is not just a symbol of beauty;
Okay.
it is historical in identity,
Mm.
and it's just a lot of things. She should be there tomorrow by His grace.
Okay. So that definitely, I can't wait to. Honestly, like I told you, I'm really like tomorrow can't come quickly enough there because of what we're about to see. So seriously. So, what role do you think African Hair Festival can play in global conversation about beauty standards? We spoke about how it's being viewed in the work, in the workplace, where
Mhm,
sometimes we have overzealous HR,
mhm.
viewing African hair with like
It's them.
is you understand that sort of thing. So, in what way can this actually help to bridge that gap so they can see it in a positive light?
Yeah, so to start with, it would be wearing your hair the way it is. I followed the African Fashion Week, and I
Okay.
saw that there was a lot of representation on the runway
Mm.
from hairstyles, and you would see that give it 6 months, you will begin to see those hairstyles on everyone's hair because a
Okay.
brand, an organization like African Fashion Week has given the staple. People are beginning to
Okay.
bite into it. So at
Wow.
some point, hair and wearing your hair the way it is
Mm.
would become normal. Yeah, we're slowly getting to that stage where you can wear your hair. You might want to add a little extension. Oh, you've got alopecia. That's absolutely fine. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, there is a part of mental health and all of that wrapped
Yeah.
around it.
You did say.
But yeah, it is your hair. It is your story. You bask in it.
Okay. So I just want to say that if you have anyone has any question in the course of this broadcast, so please put it in the comment section and make it relevant. So because I mean there are things being said here that is just flying over my head. I'm thinking, wow, is this for real? And unfortunately, it's just an indictment. Hands up. So we're all part of it. That we've not promoted our own heritage. We
Mm-hmm,
not. There's so much. Even we want to bring food vendors. We want to talk to them.
mm-hmm,
Just I know I'm digressing a bit, but it's when we don't
mm-hmm,
respect our culture. I mean, there was a time I was in Borough Market. Then I was walking around the area, and we went for lunch. And then, normally sandwich, burgers and all that. And I saw one section there now. They were selling jollof rice. I'm like, ah. So I'm like, what do you mean, jollof rice? He said, yeah, proper jollof rice. I got in trouble that day. You know what? Because I ate so much of the jollof rice that for me to, I was sleeping at work because I couldn't believe that. So I asked the owner after being there several times, So I asked him. I said, "Look, how do you have a Nigerian that actually?" So he said, "No, they have learned to make jollof rice. They are selling it in the city. And when I say in the city, they were, in fact, predominantly the people that were buying it were people. They were buying
mm-hmm.
jollof rice. Borough Market. Go and check any of
Yes,
the.
I know. I walk close to Borough Market, and
All right.
each
Okay.
time I can absolutely relate. So there is this again when I want to do research or look for
Mm,
new things. Again, I'm a researcher, so part of it is just going to different places to check out things. I would realize. I
mm,
think right now there is one person selling only something similar to jollof rice at Borough Market. But I begin to
okay.
ask myself that why is there no amala and ewedu doing this Borough Market as big as it is? Where is
um,
there no
uh,
amala and ewedu?
well,
Look at how big Borough Market is.
I know,
That
I
is,
know.
these are questions. Okay.
I get you. But one thing I know about Borough Market is that they have a very wide. I mean,
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen
it's
Thai food.
diversified. No
Absolutely,
fairness.
yeah, yeah. If you're looking for Thai food, if you're looking
You will
for
find there
Japanese, anything, you find it there.
Philippine, everything
Yeah.
you find there.
Uh,
It's very. It's just like 20 minutes from my work. So sometimes when I'm
okay.
hungry or I need something new to try, I just walk
Okay.
down.
All right. Okay. Right. So now, I think I've got two more questions for you before we wrap up. So, how can policymakers, schools, or cultural bodies better support initiatives like this?
On this. So two ways is to um add this into curriculum. I know it's currently sits under entrepreneurship. It's currently
I'm
I
sorry. I have my dog here.
know.
I have my dog here.
He just came to say hello.
I, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything so that they won't threaten me, honestly. But when you have the word, they pay to buy like Gimoluri. All right, please. I'm really sorry about this. Please go ahead.
It's
I
okay.
mean, so,
So I
so
think it's come from two ways. If already there are things around the summer school and the entrepreneurship session is becoming a language within the local council, and they're beginning to promote it right now. Policymakers might look at the fact of telling these stories or this organization from the aspect of support, which obviously is beginning to be there. EDI, we're promoting, we're getting there. But at some point, it will become a regular thing in schools, in art classes, in exhibitions. Obviously, exhibitions are beginning to like buy more into the African culture and all of that. But to become more prominent, obviously, there's still the part of you're not there yet, you're not there yet. But at some
Okay.
point, it is a slow process. I won't, for the lack of a better word, I'll stick to slow. But at some point, it will become a creative entrepreneurship venue with students learning about this as maybe one of the things that are very important. And the creative summer coaches and all of that currently ongoing with the councils, it's becoming a thing. So obviously, at some point, it might become better than this, where we can do this at large scales. Oh, that's our prayer.
Okay. So,
That's our prayer.
all right. So I have one more question for you, and I think that would be it. If you had one sentence to describe the deeper meaning of Onidiri Festival, what would it
If I had one sentence
one sentence,
to
péré. One
to
sentence,
to
péré.
to explain what onidiri is.
Mm,
Me, you, and I.
mm. You, me.
Me, yeah, you, me, and I used I because before you become me and you,
Mm,
I have to be me first. I have to be I alone.
mm.
Whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that your past, your present, and your future.
Right. Okay. Mm,
Aligning it, because if it is not aligned, there will be a level of disjointment.
mm.
There's a lot of disjointment. Oh dear,
Ah,
there's too much.
I get that. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. It's been great actually having you. And I just hope our viewers have, taken some things away. So
Hmm.
tomorrow it's Onidiri Festival
Festival.
2025. So is
Yes.
that going to be the only one you're going to have this year? Or
No, that'll be the only one this year for now. Anything can change if we get
anything
more
can change?
sponsors. If we get sponsors, we're happy
Okay.
to bring it to your
That's
community.
I'm
If
doing
you,
okay. That's what I'm asking again about
yeah,
Swansea because I
if
think not
yeah,
answered that
Swansea,
question.
yes,
Yeah.
we're still in conversation, but
Okay.
should we
So
get the opportunity, we would.
okay.
We're happy to
Okay.
bring it to your community because we're celebrating entrepreneurship and culture. So yeah,
Right. Okay. So tentatively for now, you're still in the.
we're
In
still doing this one for now.
okay. All right. Okay. That's really good. So I
Yeah.
just want to say that thank you very much, and it's been great having you on. So we're gonna be down there tomorrow. Like I said,
Mhm.
we had something else planned, but fortunately, they said when a man makes plans, God's plan will come in and just sweep it aside. If you understand, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I know. Yeah,
Aha.
I
So
do.
exactly. So
Yeah.
so I'm really happy that we're going to be down tomorrow and we're going to be on live here, same place, same platform. And at the end of the day, if we don't do it for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen places where if it's actually taking Europeans,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that have had to stand up for Africa's culture, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really weird. You understand what I'm saying? That's really weird, And we, the Africans ourselves, are the one that they are trying to convince to stand on our. We spoke about music yesterday, our Afrobeat. There was a
Mm-hmm.
time that if you mention anything African music, they look at you that, oh, all those
What this
local
one
people,
saying?
So we thank God that, now African things are being seen in a positive
Yeah.
light,
Yeah.
So our musicians are benefiting because when they started singing with, like Sonny Ade in Ondo dialects,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was in what do you call it, Denmark, across Europe. They were celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando all over the
Oh,
conquer.
well, yeah.
Mention them, but
Yeah.
the moments where in the 80s, 90s, we had people who wanted to sing like R. Kelly, and
Mm.
they were sounding like R. Kelly from Agigule, you know. But now, yes, Africa is good. You know, all the top stars. I mean, look at that. Rihanna wants to, collaborate with who?
Collaborate.
With Olamide and everybody. Do you
Mm.
understand? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even talking of Lagos Yoruba now. I'm talking of people with accent. or your accent, Ibadan.
mm,
Not even
mm,
the general Ibadan accent. I'm talking of
mm,
Bere Ibadan
mm.
accent. They want to collaborate with them. Why is that? Because we are proud. Finally, we are proud of
We've
who we are.
accepted who we are.
We have accepted who we are. We are
Mm.
no longer apologizing where, if somebody is speaking English and is coming up with the accent, we are laughing at them. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Sorry, I took part in the laughing, you know, back there, but I have repented. So, so I just want to say thank you very much. So, is there any final word from you?
Yes, two things. I just want to say thank you again for
Mm,
this. I sincerely appreciate every single person that has joined this session.
mm,
And if you're by chance in London, we want to see you at Bromley Community House tomorrow. At so the first session starts at 10 for vendors, and if you want to learn more things about
mm,
business and all of that, we're happy to have you. It start at 10. Door opens at 10, so you can up in. Please feel free to join us. And for those of you that have missed Speedy Biscuits, coconut biscuits, does it sound familiar?
mm,
Coconut,
mm.
speedy, yeah, palm wine,
Yeah, I'm not allowed to take
momo
that
alata.
for good reasons. But Mwalata, you want
You
to
might want to
you
up
want
it.
what you want to spoil my diet?
Oh, see, between you and I, we're going to pick up that diet next year. That's the deal.
That
Come
I
on.
know. Me, I can't pick it up next year. I'll be doing next year. Next year.
I told
I'm not
my
gonna
friend
do.
recently, I said, we're picking up that
Ah.
diet in next year. We're picking it up next year, not this year again. This year is gone. We'll pick it up next year,
Yeah.
but we're going to be having a lot of fun. There is going to be bata dancer. We're bringing in
Mm,
bata dancer, gogon. We're bringing in professional dancers, artists,
mm.
performing artists.
Wow.
It's just going to
Wow.
be a day filled with fun and,
Mm,
not to Yenny Sobeju. Just come.
mm.
BR1,
Okay.
1RH, and then BR1, 1RH. That's what it's happening. Bromley Community House. It's free. Once you get there, knock the door. Come in. We'll be happy to have you.
Okay. Thank you
Thank you.
very, 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 very much. We are
Thank
quite
you.
happy to finally know that yes, tomorrow we're gonna have a great time. I
Yeah.
can't wait to sort of get into the mix of things and see how
Mhm.
things are. How things, all the hard work that you've been putting in. So finally tomorrow now we're actually going to see them, and we are really very proud of you. What you're doing,
Thank you.
promoting African culture. Through Onidiri Festival. So which is something that initially we never believed was going to be. I didn't know anything like this. Could be. We're going to have something like this. I didn't believe that it was going to be, but I'm just so happy that you're actually doing all of this, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a great success, and
Amen.
we will definitely all be there, all hands on deck, all hands on
Thank
pump,
you. Thank
be there with
you.
you. And so I think before I actually go as well, so I just want to say thank you to the alumni president. One, she
Yeah. Thank
basically,
you.
I can tell you that she was on my case. So she was
Oh,
on my case.
goodness.
When I saw her call, I ran. I said, if I start with this with one, it's not going to happen. And I just want to thank as well Mrs. Bola Orimolade Adeolua, as well for
Thank you so
facilitating
much.
as well, getting into the women's WhatsApp global, the the WhatsApp global group for women. And there are other people that if I didn't mention your name, it's not because you're, the alumni at large as well, and
Yeah.
our viewers as well who are taking the time to read each other. I hope you had a great time. So just want
Mhm.
to say thank you, and
Thank you
God bless,
so much.
and see you. I mean, this is not going to be the last time. We're going to be seeing you. We're bringing you back definitely at some point, and
Yeah.
we're going to make sure that maybe we'll probably will go through the post events. Talk about
Mhm.
how did it go. So we're going to have a lot of content to really delve into pictures and
Mhm.
videos. So that is what we're going to be capturing tomorrow. So
Thank
thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much, and
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you so much.